Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So here is a little sled that I just finished up doing in our Friday night live streams here on YouTube. If you haven't checked our live streams out yet, you really are missing out on some great content like forging of this type stuff. We get into all sorts of bigger projects that sometimes don't fit into the format of of just regular videos, edited content. So be sure to check those out. There will be a link to our next live stream down in the description down below. So be sure to check that out and subscribe. But anyways, in the video, what do we want to talk about today? I want to talk about finishes. Now, what type of finish do you want to apply to a piece of ironwork like this? Now, yes, this is a sled, but it is still a piece of ironwork. So it needs to be coated with something to repel water and resist rust. Flip this thing over here so you guys can see underneath. Nice and pretty. So what did we do to take and actually finish this? Well, first off, we started with some boiled linseed oil. Pretty simple. Hashtag not a sponsor by Clean Strip brand or anything of the like. This just happens to be something I've had on hand for a long while for forging, for finishing ironwork. And of course, this one's empty now after this job. That's the first step. I like to coat everything with a nice boiled linseed oil finish for this particular type of ironwork. And then I like going into something like this. Now this is just turtle wax. Again, not a sponsor of this content or endorsed in any way, but this is the super hard shell finish, and basically it's a paste wax. That's the main criteria there. You'll want a paste wax, something that you can throw on there. Before I had that, I had like a Johnston paste wax that worked out wonderfully and beautifully on work like this. Again, you will have to constantly reapply it to keep it waterproof, over time. But the main reason you may be asking yourself, Roy, why don't you use, something like spray paint or a heavy lacquer or something? And the reason I don't is if you look at this, this can move. This can move. And that is bad for paint. Painted surfaces, they crust over. They get fairly hard and crisp. And then when they move, they crack. And then they don't hold up anymore. They chip off and things of that nature. Also, when this is sliding, say, across the ground, the snow, even though it's just water and ice, it's a very abrasive material. So it's going to strip away the paint anyhow that's on the bottom of these runners, which is no bueno. So we don't want to do that. Also, with doing a boiled linseed oil finish, it leaves a more natural look to the ironwork at hand, and as well as the wood when you put the wood on top as well. It just gives everything just a nice subtle look to it, and you really can't ask for better. Then when you combine that with a good paste wax, the paste wax really repels water pretty good. The boiled linseed oil will do its own justice in sealing in some of the pores of the metal and getting down into the areas that the paste wax can. But then once you've sealed everything really good with the linseed oil and it's dried, when you buff it out with this paste wax, you can get this little bit of a sheen. Do you see how it's got like a little bit of a sheen to it? That's from the paste wax itself. And again, it's really hard to get this on here, but there's just a little bit of a sheen on this whole piece. And it really does make a difference as far as the looks of the ironwork. And that's in my opinion. Now, there's probably some other better products out there on the market, but again, just going for a super simple, low cost, effective finish on ironwork, this can really help out. Just get yourself some boiled linseed oil and some paste wax, some Johnson paste wax or turtle wax or anything, a paste wax that can be used on steel. That's my advice on that. One other thing I will say is never, ever, 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 ever keep rags with boiled linseed oil or any oil of any sort in your shop. I don't do it at all. If I put oil on any rag, that rag gets burnt by the end of the day. So another super helpful tip, we'll call this the bonus tip since I'm rambling on. right here, shop towels. I like using these blue disposable mechanics shop towels. These are wonderful. They're a lifesaver when doing this type of work. Even if you have paint, you know, that you need to clean up or acetone off, I'll clean all that up with these, pile them up in a little steel drum I've got, and burn them all off at the end of the day. I do not keep stuff like this. It's just fire starter material in the shop. So don't do that yourself in your garages. Many of fires have been started by a rag just like this thrown in there. So don't do that. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching it. I do hope that this little video on finishes will help you out there in your own ironwork. This is the very low budget amount of finish. There's scads of different finishes. Now I'll include this now at the end of the video because I get asked this all the time. What type of finish do you use? What type of finish do you use? The answer to that is simple. It's the type of finish that will be appropriate for the job. So if it's going to be something that's going to be outdoors and it's going to be a static or a stationary item, my favorite finish to use usually is some sort of clear enamel paint finish. That's just been my go-to, preferably something that is a non-yellowing paint. So it has to be UV resistant of some kind. When it comes to indoor or home decor, where I'm really trying to save the textures of the metal and things like that, I will use more of your natural finishes, whether it be boil linseed oil, beeswax, again, your traditional blacksmith's finish. Paraffin wax makes a good one, and sometimes I just rub on the Johnston paste wax because it's indoors. It's climate controlled, so it makes it a lot easier. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you to all of the great channel members who support content here on YouTube like this. If you really enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you love the video, hit the subscribe. And if you want to support content like this, consider becoming a channel member. That will always be greatly appreciated. And you can be just like the fine folks you've seen rolling across the screen. So that's it. God bless. We'll catch you on the next one.